Hello everyone, my name's Debbie. I'm Mum Bear Stitchery here on Flosstube and over on Instagram, and this is a channel all about cross stitch. Welcome to my June video. I'm going to share my stitching that I did this month, and the pile over here shows that there was quite a lot of it. Thank you everybody for coming and joining me today, and hopefully you enjoy some of the projects. And thank you everybody who wished our dog Dexter best wishes. He tore his ACL and he is healing really well. He's still on rest. But yeah, he's doing great. Staffies are such hardy little dogs. It's like head like a brick and as dumb as a brush, but yeah, they bounce back from things very easily. So it looks, fingers crossed for now anyway, that it looks like he won't have to have surgery. But stitching, that's what you're here for. So I'm just going to jump right in because we have a lot to cover. I have a lot of projects. I went to a cross stitch retreat and I have a lot of stitchy haul which I've already filtered out, so you don't have to sit through a whole bunch of that. But let's just jump in. The first project that I'm going to show you this month was a finish and a start, and I'm going to use my notes. This was for a cross stitch camp which is hosted by the Colorado Cross Stitcher, and I will link the details for the camp down below in the little box because it runs for another 2 months. And each month is a different theme, and June's theme was a holiday, so like Halloween, Christmas, whatever you want. And the idea was to start and finish a project within the month to be eligible for some of the prizes. And the project I picked and finished was Smell My Feet. This is a freebie by La-Di-Da on their website, which I will also link below. And it's just in DMC, and I changed up a little bit and gave the legs stripy socks, and it's on 32 count Lugana Murky. I left off the little spider. I didn't like the little back stitched legs, and I liked that it was more symmetrical by leaving it off. And I hope to turn this into a little pillow for Halloween. Maybe put some pom-pom trim around the edge. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but that means it's stitched up quite quickly. So that was my first finish for the month. And it's great seeing what projects people have picked for cross stitch camp, and I'm looking forward to July's. And if you missed June's, there's nothing stopping you joining in for July or August. And speaking of that, the project that I'm going to do for July, the theme is a non-frame finish, so something that can be stitched up and framed in a way, not framed away, finished in a way other than a frame. So I dug through my stash, and I think for July I'm going to do this one. And it's a little kit that I had. I'll try to hold the bottom. Oh, that was why. Things are falling out already. This one I think is called, yeah, Cardinal Joy, and it's a Dimensions mini banner kit. So you get everything for finishing it. This is the hanger that just fell out. It comes with the bell, the fabric, and the beads, not the beads, the bells, and the floss. And so I'm hoping that one will stitch up quite quickly, and you don't have to fully finish the object, you just have to finish the stitching to be eligible to win a prize for July. So that is what I'm going to be stitching. And this one too, my friend Kenny and I, who is Kenny Stitches, also on Flosstube and on Instagram, we are doing the hashtag kitandcaboodlesal. And the idea behind that is, if like us you have a stash of kits that you just aren't stitching, that they just live in a box, because collecting kits is a whole other hobby in itself, but we need to break them out and set them free from the little storage boxes that they're in. And the idea is to start a new kit every single month. You don't have to finish it, but use the kitandcaboodlesal hashtag and just share your projects with other people and enable other people, or what things they could add to their collection, or just like I'm doing, just looking. The idea is to get my kit level down and stitch on some of these projects. So I will link Kenny's channel down below. He has already picked out a bundle of projects that he is planning on stitching. I think I will pick it month to month, the way, just how I'm feeling. And as promised, this week I will do a kit parade, and of all my kits. I was going to divide it into designers, but I think you're just going to get the whole kit and caboodle, and I'm just going to pull a box out at a time and share all those projects. And it will refresh my memory too of what I actually have and what my options are for the sal. So that is coming this week. We're going through a bit of a heat wave, so it'll give me something to do while I'm stuck in the house. I've actually just turned the aircon off, so hopefully I'm not sweating buckets by the end of this, because it's a little bit noisy. But that is coming this week, and there's more details on Instagram, and I'll put the details down below in the box as well. So that's that one. Okay. My next project was also finished this month, and this was actually one of my Whip Go projects, and I'll put where I was before. And this is Alice Meets a Caterpillar by Gera. And yeah, like I said, this was one of my Whip Go projects, and the goal was to finish it, and I did just that. I love this. This is all in DMC, and this is on a piece of 32 count. I think it's called Dirty Linen. It's by Witchy. And it feels horrible, but it was the perfect colour for this project, just like the cover photo. And I got my chart as a PDF from Creative Poppy online, but you can get a hard copy I've seen from 123 Stitch. But I absolutely love this one. It's super bright, super colourful, and yeah, it ticked off another Whip Go goal. My other project was Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow, and the goal was to finish block, and that never got touched this month, but this one did, and I can't wait to pop it in a little frame. And that's the chart. Okay, I'm trying to stay organized here because there's a lot. Another project that I worked on, and I actually worked on this one 30 minutes a day as a daily project up until I left for a retreat, was Feliz Navidad. It's by Blackbird Designs, and this is what the cover photo looks like, because mine looks nothing like this. I'm using a bunch of stash floss, so I'll put where I was before, and there's not much progress. Like I said, just picked it up for 30 minutes a day, usually in the morning when I have coffee, and this is where I got to. This looks really squint in the Q-snap. I need to fix that before I keep going on with it. I think it's as I tighten it, it gets more skew. But I used a bunch of stash floss. I think I was heavily inspired. I started watching Stranger Things season 1. I'm totally late to the game on that. But I think I was inspired by the Christmas lights in season 1 of Stranger Things, like all these vintage Christmas colours. But I absolutely love this one. And my plan for this is, if you see at the bottom here, it says Feliz Navidad. I'm going to change that to Merry Christmas in Scottish Gaelic. I looked it up. So I'm going to put that in the bottom there. But this I will work on again in July for some Christmas in July stitching. So I'm just going to keep this one in the Q-snap, well, at least once I straighten it out and fix it, and just work away on that one. I'm going to keep that as my 30-minute a day project again. My next project was a new start. I succumbed to the Witchy Stitcher's Supernatural Sal. I fell in love with her cryptid one, and I regretted not getting it from the beginning, and then I felt like, oh, I'm going to be so behind, I'll never catch up. But I loved watching other people stitching it. So I purchased this time her Supernatural Sal, which is meant to be like a companion piece, and the border is already out. So I have nothing really to insert. But I started the border, and I think this week we actually get the first creature. This is where I got to. And like I said, the whole border is actually already out. But I know that in this corner here where the skulls are actually finished, that is where the first creature is going to be. So my plan is to stitch each creature and do a little bit of the border as I go, and just try and keep up that way, because it's a bit repetitive. So it'll be a good one to pick up and just do the creature and chip away at that border. And this is actually an under the sea fabric. It is 32 count Lugana in the colour Terra. And ooh, if I roll back a little bit, that's the whole thing. And this one's all in DMC too. I've seen a lot of people have been changing it up and putting metallics in, or putting like a variegated floss in the border or for their lettering already. I love seeing all the little changes people are making to theirs and making it their own. But yeah, I think the first creature comes out on the 1st. I'm not actually sure whether it's we get 2 creatures or 1 every 2 weeks. I should probably look that up, but I'm sure it'll just pop into my email inbox and try and keep up with it. But I never managed to keep up with sales ever. I had another new start. I feel like I've been saying that a lot already. This one is actually called Mini Galaxy Girl. I'll put a cover photo in here. And this is a chart by Heaven and Earth Designs. And the artwork is by Molly Harrison. And this one, I've actually started the full size and nearly finished the whole top row, but I saw a finish on Instagram and I'm converting to the mini. My plan with this one is to stitch this for my daughter Maya, who's just graduated from elementary school. She starts middle school after the summer break, and this is meant to be her graduation from middle school gift. So it gives me 3 years to stitch it and hopefully finish it well within that time, because Elena's she's going to 4th grade and she's already picked hers out too. So there'll be an overlap at some point in the stitching for those gifts. And she's already picked out high school ones too. So have a lot of stitching ahead. But I just made a tiny start on this one. It has actually a lot of colours just in that top corner. And this is on 28 count, easy count, 2/1 10 stitch. And I love this one. The top row of pages, I will actually get the top of her eye when I finish it. So I really want to work on this one. And I imported this one into that program Markup RX on the iPad. Similar Pattern Keeper. I didn't want to buy a new device for Pattern Keeper. So Markup RX it is, and I'm just working it out, but it has made a massive difference to like how quickly I stitch. I usually use paper and highlighters, but I'm really enjoying it for this one. My only problem is my kids usually take the iPads, and then by the time I give them back, they're like, oh yeah, you need to charge that. So it's just trying to find a charged iPad to use. But that's that one. And that's that. Okay. After that, I went to retreat in San Antonio. Leslie of Under the Sea Fabrics put on the Stitching Sirens retreat, and I had signed up for that. It's the first time I've been out of the States since 2019. So with all the flight commotion, I chose to took a lift up to San Francisco and got a direct flight, because if I flew here from San Jose, I would have had to connect. And yeah, there's a lot of flights being cancelled just now. So I thought, less risk, fly direct, go up to San Francisco. And I got there, the retreat was great. There was a lot of people. And if you came and spoke to me, thank you. I kind of stayed within my little friend group. I felt a bit overwhelmed by all the people. I actually sat in my back to the room, because every time I turned around and saw the amount of people, kind of like, just breathe through it. And I kept thinking, just be brave enough and go around and see what people are stitching. And I did. When the room kind of cleared out, I went around and looked at people's projects. But if you came and spoke to me, thank you. I apologize for being a socially awkward weirdo. I blame a 1.5 years of pandemic and having to stay home. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I didn't have to daily Zoom with people. So there was large chunks of time where, yeah, I just messaged people, but I didn't actually interact in person. So apologies for being a weirdo. But when I was at retreat, it was fantastic. And I started a new project there too, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. On our table, we actually had some freebies from some designers, and one of those was from Fillapina. And it was this one. It's called Bejeweled Tail. I've been calling it Mermaid's Tail, but Bejeweled Tail. And if you can see here, all these ones that have little squares, they're beads. We actually got all the beads on our table and all the Kreinik that's needed for it. All we had to do was buy the fabric and the thread pack, which is just CMC. And so I did that while I was there, and I started this project. And I actually finished it when I got back from retreat. Mine looks a little bit different from the mock-up. And here it is. I absolutely love this fabric, which is, what is it on here? 32 count opal linen in the colour Neptune. And I wish I'd bought or seen more of this. I may have to order it. Leslie Undersea Fabrics, there's currently a sale going on. Check out her Facebook page to see how long it lasts for. But I may have to order this one, despite how much I bought there. But yeah, I struggled to fit the beads in on the tail. And so I just eventually, after frogging so much, I just filled it in with more of the stitches in the crown neck. And I absolutely love this. I think I'm going to put this inside a project bag. I actually have a bunch of fabric cut on my sewing desk. If you want to make vinyl foam project bags, I highly recommend Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch's video. It shows you step by step how to make them, and if, like me, you have minimal sewing machine skills, I've already made a couple and they were easy as anything following her video. So I think I might put like this way, maybe put some mermaid fabric as the bag and maybe put this on the inside to protect the beads that are on there, just as a memory of like the retreat. But I absolutely love this. Love the fabric, love the colours, and yeah. So it was an unexpected start at retreat. Yeah, so I'll link Elizabeth Ann's video below. Sorry, my brain's thinking faster than my words. Today I finished another page. This project is called Hippo Reflection. It is a full coverage chart by Artecy, and I will also put where I was before in here. My plan with this one is I try and stitch a page a month so that by December I'll be finished it. And I actually finished the page today, which is why I'm recording a video at 7:30 at night after I've just been to karate, because I wanted to get this done first. And here is where I currently am. So I finished stitching this page over here, which has his other little nostril, and this is on 25 count easy count, 1/1 full cross. And I really love this project. This is my favorite project that I work on, and I look forward to finishing the page every month and seeing it closer to that finish goal. I can't believe that by the end of the year it will be finished. So that is that one. And again, I will pick that up in July and finish another page. Fingers crossed. The last project that I worked on, I actually had to go back out to the car, bring it back in, was this one. It's Berry Patch by Hello from Liz Mathews, and this was supposed to be my retreat start. And I put a couple of stitches in before I started on the mermaid tail from retreat. But I was working in the car. This is currently my car project. And like I said, we just came back from karate, so I was working on it there. And this is where I got to. And this is all in DMC, and this is on 36 count Winter Moon by Swigart. And this won't, I don't think this will take long to stitch up. There's just a lot of colour changes, but I do love the colour she's picked for the strawberries, which is DMC 21 and 22. But I don't think it'll take that long to stitch up. It's just a bit finicky with all the colour changes. But I do love it. It's a great little summer stitch. But I'm going to keep that one on the Q-snap, keep it as my car project until it's finished. Okay. Okay, more plans for July. So I'm a member of Full Coverage Fanatics. It's a group on Facebook, and it's all about full coverage stitching. And in July, starting the 1st, there is a Tour de France challenge. And I actually printed the thing out. So you can pick your stitching level, which is the yellow jacket, the yellow jersey, polka dot, or the green jersey. And each has a different stitching level. The yellow jersey, which is what I'm going to do, you stitch all the parts, and the distance is the number of stitches that you have to stitch. Like each leg for each day is the number of stitches you have to stitch. And yeah, yellow jersey stitches all of it. the green jersey is just a sprint and the climbing stages is just for the polka dot. But yellow jersey is 3,356 stitches within the month. And so I was looking through what projects, like what project would I want to do that amount of stitches on in the month. And I kept changing my mind. But the one that I settled on, we'll put the cover photo in here, is Pocahontas Storykeep. And this is an old whip. But I really do want to finish this one. It went in time out because it was a casualty of the DMC 08 and 09 sort of fiasco that happened a while ago with Heaven and Earth. And yeah, look, this is how far I was or before they sent me a new chart. And this one I'd already started because my first chart was also wrong. I had repeat colours. I had already done a couple of thousand stitches, so I'm just going to continue with the chart that I have, the one that has the, well, the wrong 0809 placement, because I wasn't changing after this. And so this one is in 10 stitch. It's 25 count 2/1 10 stitch. So for the challenge I actually have to stitch 7,000 odd stitches because I have to double it. And so I think this might get me close to a finish. After this page that's already started here, I have two full-size pages and 2 partials on the bottom. It's a long skinny piece. But I think this one might get me close to a finish. My first Heaven and Earth finish. Even though it's a story keep, it would count as a finish. But yeah, that's what I've picked for the challenge, and hopefully you'll see lots of progress on this. And this is charted by Heaven and Earth, and the artwork is Melanie Delon. And I'm pretty sure I bought the Mulan version as well, because they emailed me a replacement chart, so I must have. So that's for the Tour de France challenge, and I will link the group below if that's something that interests you, or just full coverage stitching resource place, or to see other people's full coverage stitching. Just make sure you answer the questions to get into the group. And I love that Facebook group. It's one of my favorites. Okay, also in July, I signed up for the Black Needle Society's Frogwarts. It's a retreat in a box. This you pay for months in advance. I think I paid for my box the first week in January, and you get a box of goodies, and then there's a virtual retreat that goes along with it, and it involves games like stash dives, like treasure hunt things like about your house, stitching challenges, and lots of other things. I did it last year. I missed the very first one because I never knew about it. I participated in year 2, and now I'm signed up for year 3, and that starts on the 13th, I think. But yeah, we have like a schedule of events, stitching challenges, and I think this week we get an opportunity to start the pattern, which is like a band sampler. Every year has a band sampler with motifs relevant to that Harry Potter year. And if I didn't say, it's Harry Potter themed, even though it's called Frogwarts. You compete in houses for house points, for yourself, for your team. It's just a whole bunch of fun. And the ladies at Black Needle Society, it is one of the best, well, it's the only virtual retreat I've been to, but it really is good. And especially now, like if you can't travel to retreat, like financially it's really expensive right now, and you might not just not have the time to fly to like another state or whatever. It's just really, it's a lot of fun, and you can do it from the comfort of your own house in your pajamas. And a lot of my retreat time was spent in my pajamas or hyped up on coffee, like all the stitches. I remember getting up at 6 in the morning to watch like Harry Potter and do the stitching challenge because I wanted to play hard and like do it all, but you can do as much or as little as you want. It's just make it what you want. It's going to be fun. So I have that coming up, but this week we'll get the pattern emailed to us because the boxes haven't shipped yet, because if you finish the band sampler for the year, you win house points. So I've actually picked out my fabric. It's this plum color. I hope it's big enough. I need to double check it. It says it's a 32 count amethyst by Hand Dye Fabrics by Stephanie, but I'm worried it's a 28, so I'm going to double check before I start the pattern. But that is my plan for this week too. Lots of things come out this week. Okay, that's all the stitching I have, all the plans I have. Next up is all the fabric. And it's not even all the fabric, I've already put some away, but I've picked some of my favourites that I bought at retreat. I feel like I've made up for the fact that I haven't been to an in-person retreat since 2019. So I'm going to show you some of my favourites, because a lot of these I wouldn't have bought. It's hard to tell sometimes from the little 1-inch picture on a website what the whole piece of fabric looks like, and then they dye so differently on different types of fabrics. So I always enjoy seeing people's fabric on videos in person, because I maybe wouldn't have ordered it otherwise. But first up is my fabric of the month. This is called Hanami, and this month I picked a 32 count Joblin, and it's kind of like a cherry blossom green pink situation. And we got that at retreat. There was Leslie didn't post it out when we were going to be there in person, so that was a nice thing to start the retreat off. The next piece of fabric that I have is Heaven's Fury, and this is a 32 count opal linen. And yeah, this is completely not what I would normally, like, I wouldn't order something like this normally, but seeing it in person, it was, yeah, absolutely beautiful. And all those sparkles. This one is, this looks like Whimsical Winter. Yep, this is a 40 count opal Whimsical Winter. And it's a sparkly green, grey. Love that one. It's very spooky. It kind of seems like one that would be really good for Halloween stitching that isn't like grey. All that green colour. This one is called Uplifting Currents, and this is a 28 count opal linen. Oh, I love that one. Where it's like almost like the rays are coming out from the corner. And it's like a kind of blue purple sparkle. This one I actually bought for Bella Fillapina, but it's actually too small because it's a 28 count. It's a 28 count opal linen called Tempest. It's just a little bit too small. And it's like purples. Almost like it's a green undertone there right in the middle. But I was going to use this one for Hanami or Mayari. The sort of the moon angel-y ones. But it's a little bit too small. I think my margin would be a little bit too tight. But I do love that one. This next one, I saw a model in Leslie's shop. It's the, oh, what's it called? Because I've already stitched it. Yo Crow by Hands On Design. They had a model stitched on this fabric here. And I've already stitched chart, but I was like, I need that fabric. So I went searching through all the racks, and I actually found a piece. This is a 36 count opal linen. And it is called Fiery Skies. And again, this is not something I would normally order, but seeing it in person, I fell in love with it. This is Naiad, and it's a 32 count linen. And I have stitched on this one before, but I think it was on an even weave and it looks completely different. But love all those blues and the mottling in that. This is Looking Glass. This is an old favorite. This is 32 count opal linen. And it's kind of like grays with purple. I've stitched a lot on Looking Glass. It is one of my favorites. Another blue, Shimmering Azure. It's a 32 count opal linen. Lovely bright royal blue. And all the sparkle. I went a bit sparkle mad, I feel like. Like a lot of the fabrics was kind of like shiny, like a little crow. And every time I sat down, I was like, I'm not going up to buy anymore, because there was like a pop-up shop at the retreat, as well as we went to Leslie's shop in San Antonio, Texas, which I will link the address down below in case you're passing through there. You definitely need to check it out. And I will put some photos after this where you can see wall-to-wall fabric. I met Amy Lee and Jen, who also work in the shop, and they are fabulous, and Sadie, the shop pup. So yeah, definitely a place to check out, and all the fabrics. Okay, this next one is a 32 count linen, and it's Beach Walk. It's kind of like a beige with a little blue grey. I definitely think after this I am good on fabric for like a little while, and now just need to stitch that stash. This one is Heaven's Fury, and this is a 28 count Joplin. I can just see something spooky and Halloween on this one. And last bit of fabric I'm going to show you is NYX, and this is the 32 count Joplin. I think I have a piece of this and it was like more a browny color, so yeah, they just dye. I just love it. Grey. Nice grey. Yeah, love those. And I picked up a couple of charts just while I was in the shop, standing and waiting on checking out. It was kind of like, need this one, need that one. And I actually picked up some smalls. So this is the Quirky Quakers. I picked up Seahorse. There was a model on the wall, sold it for me. These also had models, and it is it's hard to read backwards. The Mythical Creature set. I had to have this one because it has the little Loch Ness Monster. And this one apparently has the Yeti conversion, as well as the Sasquatch, and then the unicorn in the middle. I thought these would stitch up as cute little ornaments. The bee. And the snail, which I have been after since I saw Michelle Bendistitchy give hers like a rainbow shell. I love snails. So that's that one. I also picked up this one, Tudor Ermine. I saw this one when it came out at market a while ago, or whenever it came out, and I should have picked it up. I absolutely love this one with the toadstools. And that's by the Blue Flower. And from the Witchy Stitcher, Krampus. So if I do have any time left out with all those plans that I have for July, I would love to start Krampus. If not, it'll be closer to Christmas. They hadn't, I was looking for the other chart, but they were sold out. Somebody got it for me. Leshy, is it Leshy? It's also by the Witchy Stitcher. Vanessa at Retreat was stitching on it, and she was almost finished, and it was amazing. So I need to remember that, and I'd buy that one too. And I must have a piece of fabric that will suit it. But that was a fantastic chart too. Before I left for Retreat, I must have ordered something for 1 to 3 stitch and just added these into my cart. It is Ink Circles Rosetta. That one. And Barbara Anna's All Creatures Great and Small. I love this one, but I think I will change the verse to something less religious. Maybe some David Attenborough quote to go in here. Just that requires mental ability to like rechart something like that. But I absolutely love the little animals on this one. And the very last thing that I have to show you before you go is this kit. It's Marjolaine Baston's Lenart, and I never see the ducks or the chicks pop up that often, so I grabbed this one when I saw it on eBay, and this one is called Duckling 1. I think it's called Foraging, because there's like a set of them, but I never see these come up, so I had to grab this one when I saw it. And just a reminder about the Kit and Caboodlesal, where we're starting a kit every single month. Kenny stitches now. Everybody's welcome. Big, small kits, full coverage, whatever you want. Just share your progress, use the hashtag, and I think this might be my August start because he is so cute. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you come back next month, and hopefully I will have lots to show you then and share all about another virtual retreat. But until then, I hope you're having a great summer, and I will see you next month. Bye.